All right, to watch this video for Monday, April 23rd, I put a couple lines on the SPY chart just to kind of show you the range that it's in, pretty wide range, and I look at where it closed on Friday, pretty close to the middle of the range, pretty close to the 20-day. The 20-day doesn't really have any direction, so it's a chop fest out there, which is fine for me because my style is such that I have a list of stocks to watch every day that might give me a setup the next day, and if I get what I call an A-plus intraday setup, I'll take a trade, but I'm back to cash every night, and I try to only take A-plus setups, scale out pretty quickly on some, tighten the stop on the rest. I'm a defense-first minded trader, and that's what I've settled on after years because I don't like being read, right? So I'm really, really patient when it comes to stalking and entry because if you enter right, it takes a lot of the trouble out of the equation, what most traders run into, right? If you enter right and you're green right away, maybe an inflection point with stacked catalysts above on the chart, so you can just start rolling in your direction and scaling out into the strength. So to me, it's all about being really patient and understanding the proper moment to enter a stock. I see a lot of people out there with big followings, the so-called gurus and so on, and you'll see a big volume spike in a stock, and someone in our chat room will say, "Hell, that was so and so," putting it out to his followers via chat room plus email plus text or however some of these people try to make money, and the volume spike. And you look at where the entry was, and some of these guys have gotten such big followings, you can tell they're complacent. They don't even have a trading strategy anymore other than, hey, here's a low float stock that was running last week. I'm going to buy it now, and then I'm going to sell into the spike that I create through my followers. But for me, I look at the entry on some of them and I say these guys have no method at all, other than that they've got such a big following now that they're hoping to just create the volume through their following so they can make some money. And that's the difference, I think, between what they do and what we do is I can give you 2 or 3 reasons based on the chart and the exact moment that I'm looking at something. I can give you the reasons why, chart-based, why I like it at this price, right? If it breaks down this price, or if it breaks through this resistance, here's another catalyst and another catalyst above. So I'm watching, and if there's a seller on level 2, and if that seller gets taken out at this resistance, bam, that's when I'm in. Otherwise, I'm sitting in cash. I would rather be in cash than just random entries, and then probably being in less cash a little while later. So anyway, defense first always, guys. If you want to be a day trader, always think defense first and really, really learn proper entries so you can be green right away, all right? So here's what I've settled on to watch on Monday. Now, this isn't the entire list because we'll find some gappers in the pre-market on Monday to add to the watch list, and we'll probably see some scanner set of some volumes, spikes that we can start looking for entries as well. So this is just my starting list, if you will. So VLRX. I'm going to have on watch really nice volume on Friday and a pretty strong close. So that one's certainly worth watching. MYND is more of a quiet play, but it had decent volume back here on these 2 days, and it's kind of flagging and starting to curl back up. So I think this one is worth watching. Seadrill, SDRL, had this massive move 3 sessions ago, then a lower high, and then a lower high again. You've got a possible support at the 200-day, or in what we call the buy zone between the 8 and the 20-day. So we'll see if we can get catch an intraday turn in that one. Apple, you can see I'll trade any stock, any price, right? Apple, a couple nasty days, right down into price support around this 165 level plus the 200-day. Pretty good setup for a snapback bounce on Monday. VT had this really big 2-day move and is now kind of flagging. Certainly worth watching. A couple more, small list going into Monday. SSW, nice volume and up near recent highs. You could kind of argue, if you blur your vision a little bit, in inverse head and shoulders, sort of a sloppy one. But anyway, we'll see if we can get a follow-through day in that one. And then AYTU, kind of a sleeper pick here. I'll have to zoom in to show you why. But, I generally don't trade the sub-dollars, but I usually am watching 1 or 2 of them. So you had this nice 3-day run from 42 cents to 76 cents. I mean, almost a double in 3 days and decent volume on this day. And this was back in March. And then I put in a lower high, seems to have put in a higher, here's a higher low, lower high, and that seems to put another higher low, and this was 64 cents. On Friday, it hit 63.5 cents. So I really like this one over 64 cents. I think it might break through this flag pattern, wedge pattern, whatever you want to call it. So it's just a sleeper pick, but I'm going to watch it. All right, AYTU. And that's my entire list. I don't think I have anything else to say. We'll leave it at that. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and I'll see a lot of you in the chat room on Monday.